Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we'll talk about is there potential for a stock market crash to be around the corner and might hit the stock markets very soon. Now before I get stuck into the video, I am really sorry if my hair's really flat today. I've had a hat on all day. We are in October in England and it's typical October, November time. It's just pouring it down every day. So yeah, I've been outside a lot, and if I'm outside I tend to put my hat on and it just squashes your hair. But yeah, we'll start talking about my hair. And also another positive as well is I actually found my blue pen again. Yeah, we're hidden under something. So I found that. Obviously we were kind of not doing really well on the red pens and the black pens. So we have got the blue pen back, which is really good. But we'll get back onto the proper topic today, which is there a stock market crash coming? And I've also noticed it on the questions a little bit on the comments about is there potential for a stock market crash, and I'll kind of give my thoughts on it. And I'll kind of give my thoughts from a UK stock market point of view, and I'll also talk about it from a US stock market point of view as well, where I see both of them coming, because obviously we talk about the US stock market and it's kind of at highs, where we talk about the UK stock market where it's kind of gone up and then it's kind of sinking down a little bit. So obviously we're in different situations as well with the amount of cash that's being pumped into like the US market compared to the UK market. So we'll try to cover them both separately, guys. So if you could smash the like button before I do get onto it, that'd be absolutely amazing. Subscribe if you're new around here and we'll take a look. So my first point into this topic is this word here, this crash. Now this tends to be quite a scary word for investors, and for me it's actually one of my favourite words in the stock market, because crash normally means cheap stock prices. Cheap stock prices normally means buying time and getting some pretty good deals out there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in time, not fast forward, I'm going to go back in time to March. Now at March, April, February, the stock market was sinking because of the coronavirus coming out, and there was a lot of bargains out there. Now depending on, there's some little stocks that don't come into this category, but most stocks pretty much sunk there. And when you bought them stocks in March time, April time, I mean, how many of them positions, if you guys were in the stock market then, obviously there's been a new wave of investors that came in since there, a lot of free time that come into the stock market, and some of them weren't in the crash situation, so some of you guys weren't invested then, but a lot of you guys that I know watch the videos probably would have been in the market at that time in March. We had a big crash. Now, how many of you guys bought stocks in there? You know I bought stocks. I know a few guys bought stocks, and a lot of them stocks that you bought in that time, how are they doing? For me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, you've got a lot of positions that you bought in there that are up massive. So even in the short term, avoid looking at your portfolio. It is a bit crap how much it's gone down, and your portfolio is a little bit in the red, but we're not in this for like a 2-month period. We're in it for the long term. We're in it for them long gains, them 2 to 5 year gains, and that's where you see the massive rewards. And even though it wasn't 2 to 5 years, even though it was only 6-7 months since we had that crash, look at them stocks that you had. I mean, some of my positions have done fantastic since there. Positions like Facebook, I mean, positions that I've sold as well, like Wynn Resorts, Barclays at one time, Boohoo in the first dip I bought and I sold. There's other companies in there that I could talk about. Pinterest after earnings, unbelievable, but I bought some shares in that dip. Look at some of the companies that you bought in crashes, and those are the easiest times for you to make money in the stock market, because you start getting valuations that are extremely cheap, and even in the short term you can make a lot of money. So there's a lot of fear that go around the word crash, but for me, I love it. That is one of my favorite times as an investor. It is like Christmas Day for me, and to be honest with you, I welcome a crash. I mean, it's a bit crap on your portfolio side of it for the next couple of months, but in the long term, it really does make easy money for you guys. So even though there's a lot of fear around this word, and I don't want there to be a crash, my point of view, I love crashes. It's the easiest time to make money as a stock market investor. So I thought I'd just touch on that a little bit and try and get out that the mentality of that a crash is a bad thing. A crash as an investor, as a long-term investor, is brilliant. And how many of you people were thinking, oh, I wish I bought more in March, or I wish I was investing in March. If we get March again, here we go. It's easy money time. So I think from just a mentality point of view, crashes should not be something to be scared of as an investor, but something to be welcomed. So hopefully that kind of filled you up with a bit more confidence, and maybe you kind of now, my kind of view where, I want I want a crash to happen. I want it to happen. It's a good opportunity to go buy. And as long as some of you guys that are new here, obviously the first year in investing is like a massive learning curve. You learn so much in your first year. But as long as you've got a good cash reserve, you should be all right for a crash in the stock market. This is why I've said as much as I can on the last few videos and over the course of the last few months really is get that cash position up. Try get to a 20% cash position, and then if a crash doesn't happen, at least when you're in a 20% cash position and it starts going above that, you can just start feeding it into a couple of companies now and then, but you've still got a nice chunk of cash up. I would say always priority is to have 20% cash. Sometimes I go up to 30 depending on how overvalued that stock market is, but I like to say 20% in cash, and then everything that goes above there, I'll go out and personally for me, I'm like, I'll go pick up some shares in Gang, I'll go pick some shares up in Huya, but I've still got that massive amount of cash there if I need it for when them big blue chip companies crash, because we don't get them big blue chip companies on sale that much. So these are the opportunities I'm looking for to really buy into them Microsoft positions, Facebook positions and everything like that, because them sort of companies have done phenomenal over the last few months. That's kind of what's really propped the stock market up. And just in general on the US side of it, when we look at the S&P, it is trading at very high valuations. A lot of the large caps there's still some deals out there with a lot of the smaller caps, some of the growth stocks out there, and that's why I've been buying them a lot more than into the big blue chips. I've not bought a big blue chip company since June, I think, which was like MasterCard, I believe it was. So I've not bought anything that's a big market cap for a very long time, so I would like them to come down a little bit. But in general, they've done really well. They've kind of propped up the stock market on the US side of it. And we know the cash injection as well into the stock market has helped it up there compared to a lot of other markets out there, like the FTSE, for example. But the S&P is still trading at a very high P ratio for a lot of these large caps. So it is due at some point for the stock market to come down. And I think the US is kind of getting that realization of them, the amount of cases, coronavirus fears kind of kicking back in. And like I say, I think with the amount of cash that's in there, I don't see the stock market going down to anything like a March position. I don't see it going down there just because of how much cash has been put into the stock market. But at these sort of valuations, I do believe the stock market does have potential to go down 5-10%. And if the stock market goes 5-10% down, a lot of these large market caps will go down probably more than 5-10%. You'll see some of them dip about 20%. Because when the stock market goes down, it goes down quick. It comes quick. The stock market crash happens quick. It's not like the bull market where it goes up steady. When stocks go down, they go down quickly, and that's why it changes so instantly fast. So that's something I would be very careful of, and just being aware of that situation. How quick the market goes down to how it goes up is definitely something else. So I think from the US point of view, yes, I could see the stock market going down from here, but I definitely don't see, in terms of a crash, I don't see it going down 20%, for example, like it was in March time. But I do see the potential of it. I've always said a 5-10% dip every so often because of the fear of coronavirus coming in and getting back into the stock market. I think that could happen. So yeah, I would say that potentially I don't see massive drops, but I do see the potential for some little dips here and there where you can pick up a few shares at some better valuations. So that's on the US front of it. Now on the UK front of it, I do believe that the stock market could go down from here, but compared to the US, we're still pretty low. So the only thing that will really put us down any lower than this is if there was a complete lockdown in the UK. If there's a complete lockdown in the UK, then I could see the stock market going lower. I'd probably go back to where we were at, the coronavirus low. So there is potential for the UK stock market to go down. We'll see if that will happen. But in general, with the UK side of it, it's a lot lower. There's a lot more negativity priced into the stock market. So we'll see how much lower that can go. I'm not 100% sure on this one because, like I say, it's hard to tell because a national lockdown will be the big one, and that will probably take it lower. If we don't get that, I can't see, there's a lot of negativity priced in, so I can't really see that much going much lower anyway. So I think the UK front's a little bit hard to predict because I don't really know what the government's doing. So it changes day by day what's going on, so I can't really put much of a bet there. But the US I'm a little bit more confident on anyway than what's going on in the UK right now. So yeah, that's kind of my situation with both of them. But like I say, crashes do happen very quickly and they are very hard to predict. By the time you've predicted it, it's already happened. So yeah, that's one thing I would say. And one thing I will always say as well is never sell all your stocks because you think there's a crash coming. Because what happens if a crash doesn't come? that's one thing that I am going to add in there. That's one thing that I do always see in the comments about, oh, I'm going to go cash heavy now, I'm going to sell all these positions. But if the crash doesn't come, you've got no stocks and you miss out on gains. So that's one thing to be careful of. But I'd say right now is kind of the reflection time of hoping maybe there is a crash, getting some stocks at cheaper valuations, and also the, you know, a bit of a reality check of a cash pile is really good, and having that cash pile is really important. I think about 20% of your value in the stock market right now would be good if the blue chips do come down. If not, you know, when you get above 20%, then you can just nibble into some of the more smaller cap companies that are at a bit of a cheaper valuation, I think. So overall, that's my opinion on the stock market crash, guys. I hope that gives some confidence if there is a crash, and also that I generally don't see us going down massive from here. I do believe there could be a little short-term dip of 5-10%, but from here I personally don't see us going down more than that. So hopefully that clears a few things up, and as always, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I might do a Pinterest video later today with a double upload, so we'll see what happens anyway. So yeah, I hope to see you on the next video.